uh, a lot of people, Johnny Knoxville got old. What's his name? That liquor maker. What was that? Popcorn Sutton, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand about the type of lifestyle that it is in the mountains and stuff.
I know it. They don't.
That's
They don't.
that's the way that man was brought up his entire life, dude. That's the way I knew half the people. Like my, you guys heard of the Hatfields and McCoys, right? My mom was a McCoy, and my granddad, right? He was a deputy sheriff for like 30 years, and the reason he became a deputy sheriff is because he got busted running moonshine, and the judge, right? Martin County is the smallest county in Kentucky. And he was a McCoy, and his family had a little pull. That judge told him that that he's going to throw him to jail if he didn't become a deputy sheriff, and he became the deputy for that county for like the next 30 years. But running shine and doing, that's like part of our culture here. Man.
Right. Well, I think he just went live, so welcome in everyone. Glad you're here.
This one here, we're going to ask a few questions, trivia cards here in a little while, but this is just a bullshit session. We're going to talk about the Big 12, the Pac-12, and all other kinds of stuff. So right now, to start off the show, we're going to have Joey Foster.
Howdy, everyone.
We got Jackson Johnson, and we got Hillbilly Skeptic.
Hello.
So what did you want to talk about tonight as far as football? I mean, I know everything. I can tell you right now, the Big 12 is expanding and taking the four corners, but I mean the four corners. Yes, I do mean New Mexico State University, and then then of course Utah and Colorado and Arizona State. We're going to jump out east too and get Memphis. Go ahead and pick them up, and so yeah. I mean we've got We've got a lot of great things that are going on in Big 12 where I hope I got to get my soundboard right. Sorry. I hope that everybody knows that the Big 12 is the new super conference, and we have expanded, and we've absorbed the Pac-12 by now. I mean, I'm sure the news has already come down.
Well, Joey, something bigger has broke about the SEC today. I don't know if people understood this or not. We will now be making close to $1 billion per team. We're putting stadiums on the moon. We found out that the aliens on the opposite side of the moon have money. So we're going to build stadiums up there, and ESPN is going to start selling our telecast to the aliens.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, we're going to
need to know about college football. I mean, I know, Jackson, you're going to go to the University of Martians, right? That's where you're going to be your alma mater, and so we have to make sure that you're well represented up there on Mars. And
there we go.
How pissed would you be if Martians landed and they came out of the ship in Alabama shirts and saying "Roll Tide"?
Yeah.
If they say that goddamn War Eagle, we're shooting them.
Yeah, right.
I get tired of reading Twitter and H.H. Burr, whatever the hell, H.B. Burr, whatever the hell his name is. But not only just him, right? I mean, I get tired of all the hype, too, from other people as well. So I get tired of hearing from that Pac-12 one. I mean, I'm always bouncing back at him, whoever the hell he is. I mean, it's the fact of the matter is, none of us know what the hell is going on. There ain't nobody here in this room, and there ain't no damn body on Twitter that has a clue what's going on, and are sitting in these damn meetings to know what they're talking about. I promise you.
That's right.
I promise you. I have got a lot of sources at West University. They wouldn't tell me jack shit. I've got a lot of sources there. They wouldn't tell me nothing if they knew it. Guess what? They probably don't even know themselves what's going on. Nobody does. That's the problem. Everybody wants to act like they do, and I know there's speculation. I think that's fine. If you're speculating and saying I think the Big 12 should take the four corners, and I think the Pac-12 should probably just give up and go into the Mountain West, Big 10 and Big 12, that's speculation. And if that's what you believe, I think that's fine. But when you're stating it as a fact, and you're saying this is what's happening, I know for a fact that this is what's happening. That's propaganda. Bullshit is all that is.
Yeah.
It might be propaganda for the Pac-12. It might be propaganda for the Big 12, but it's propaganda if you think you know what's going on.
Well, the only thing I can say with certainty, though, Joey, is Arizona State's president does not want in the Big 12. He repeatedly has called the Big 12 the JUCO conference.
And see, I have heard, I heard somebody the other day, and I argued with him a little bit, and then I said, you know what, it's not worth it. Who said, well, Arizona is coming to the Big 12 regardless if Arizona State wants to come or not. And I said, oh, that's ridiculous. That can't happen. They've got the same regions.
And so Dr. Crow from Arizona State controls the voting in Arizona. Marty Robbins, the president of Arizona, does not cast the same amount of power that Dr. Crow at Arizona State has. And that's what I've tried to explain to people.
People don't understand the local stuff shit involved in all this, man. You know,
I want to state just a stance here that how I feel, right? Because I have a lot of people saying, well, Golden Blue Jay's producing these videos and saying this is going to happen. No, he's not. He's speculating. He's speculating. He's saying, look, this is what my voters are saying. The people that are subscribed to me said, make a video on this. I'm making a video on this. And that's what he does. It's speculation. What if this happens? What if that happens? It's all bullcrap. Who the hell cares? What if it happens? Then I hear other people, and you know, now everybody knows that good friend of mine, and I'm talking about Jeff and Tony. They're pulling for the Pac-12, and okay, that's great. And they're saying that it's not going to happen. That this is the Pac-12's fine. I think that's fine. Here's the problem: none of us know for sure. And the moment we state we know for sure, that's when it could come up and bite us in the ass. So I don't make any calls out of the way. I don't say, well, the Pac-12 is going to dissolve, and I'm not going to say the Big 12 is going to grow. What I'm going to say is whatever they decide, we just got to live with.
I did find this out, though, and it's going to happen sometime this week, and this is going to happen. The Big 12 and the Big 12 reporters are going to have a class sometime this week, and they're going to go back to mathematics for dummies.
They need to.
Because the Big 12 goes around and says, we're getting the four corners. We're getting the four corners. The problem is the four corners are Arizona, Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico. Mm-hmm. When the fuck was the last time you heard New Mexico was going to the Big 12? So technically, you're only getting 3 quarters of the corners.
I included them now. I included them just now. Remember when I said the 4 corners, that means New Mexico State too. So now listen, I agree with you. Here's the problem: they can't do math, and here's why. There's $20 million in the contract for them, right? If we add a Power 5 team to the Big 12, they get $20 million. Now, can there other things be negotiated? Sure. I mean, yeah. So we might be able to get them to $25 million. Okay. So we get them to $25 million. I'm sure they can get that in the Pac-12 and without ever moving conferences, without all the logistics and all the headaches, they can get $25 million. Could they get $30 million? Absolutely, they probably could get $30 million. Now, here's where I draw the line. Exposure. So, sure, Amazon will give them a lot of exposure. That there's no doubt about it. Amazon can give them a lot of exposure. Apple will not. I'm telling you right now, Apple is not very big around the country in a grand scheme of things. Android is a lot more. So Apple is not going to, I know there's a lot of people on the West Coast that use Apple because it's a West Coast thing. So yes, they'll get a lot of
a West Coast thing. Yeah, I mean, most of them have Apple.
Yeah.
I'm here where I'm at, and I hate Apple. And everybody I know hates Apple. Nobody uses Apple. Nobody uses a Mac product. They use Microsoft, and they use Android. Period. So
hey, now don't fuck with my Apple phone, damn it.
Well, you know, I don't have nothing against Apple. I don't really have anything against Apple. It's just that it's a different platform, right? I've used Android for a long time. I used to use Apple, and the programs were just so much different than Android that I just went back to Android. I love my Android. I want to watch Pac-12 football. I do. I enjoy sitting here at night at 10 o'clock at night or even 1 o'clock in the morning when I've got nothing to do. I know I can turn on a game that's still playing in the Pac-12. If it's on Apple, I can't watch it anymore. That's
Here's
what
the
I'm.
good news, though, Joey. You're going to Thailand. You'll get it over there.
Well,
It's
I don't
just
get
that
Apple.
you actually have.
Actually, my condominium complex, which is the same one as all the others, uses smart TVs that run off Microsoft and off of Roku and things. So no, every one of them are the same. Every
Yeah, but
condo
the thing
complex.
is, you can get Apple TV on an Android. It's just a service, like a $5 service. I mean, it's going to be the same as, and this is what I argue to people. It's the same as ESPN3. Hey, boy, thanks for coming, man.
Hey, if the Big 12 only gets 3 of the 4 corners, would that make them the Big 12 and 3/4?
Yeah, 12 3/4.
Right. Okay.
Now here you go, Joey. Let me bring this up. I did this the other day, and you guys will find this interesting. Maybe I found it real interesting. Because last week I got into a big argument on Twitter. I got into a Twitter space. We were talking football and this and that, and people were bringing up all-time wins and this and that, and they said, well, this team, and I said, well, what about Princeton? Princeton has a lot of wins. Yale, well, no, their wins don't count because they were against FBS teams. Well, these guys don't count because they play a lot of FBS teams. So I said, okay, here's what we'll do. Let's find out, and we won't use those teams, but I took the top 30 teams, all-time wins in the FBS, okay? And most of
I want to hear these. But I want to grab a beer. I'll be right back.
Okay, well, I'm explaining it, and then when you come back. But what I did was I took the top 35 all-time win leaders, and I wrote down how many wins they have. And then I went to Winsipedia, and I figured out how many wins they had against FBS teams. So if we're not going to count Princeton and Yale and all them because, well, they played FBS, I said, well, let's take the FBS teams and let's take their FBS victories away from them, and let's see where every team is when you take away the FBS wins. So
now let me ask you a question before you start, because FBS in 1970, a team that was FBS in 1970 might be FCS now. How did you rule that?
I went down and through and looked. Most of them are taken out. If they're in an FBS now, they're taken care of. I mean, these are just purely non-FBS. So What we have is Texas is the #1 all-time wins leader right now. They would have 826 wins. Now, all-time, they're 5th with 936. The #2 team would be Oklahoma with 825 wins. They were 6th with 934. Third place is Michigan with 806, and they had 989. Fourth, which surprised me, I didn't think it would be this high, but Alabama would be 4th with 805 wins. We'd be 1 win behind Michigan, and we were second all-time tied for second all-time with 953. #5 is Nebraska. They have 784 wins under this new. They were in 8th place before at 912 wins. Ohio State would be 6th with 783 wins, 1 behind Nebraska. And they were 3rd, technically tied for 2nd with Alabama at 953. Then we have Notre Dame, who would have 760 wins. They were 4th in the other one at 938. 8th place is USC with 728 wins. They were 11th in the other one at 867. 9 and 10, they didn't change. Georgia is in 9th place with 725. They were in 9th place on the other at 868. And then you would have Tennessee in 10th place at 680 wins. And they were 10th on the other with 867.
Okay, so we're through the top 10, and it sounds like 7 of those 10 are SEC teams.
We'd have Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee. We would have 5 out of 10.
Okay.
And then the Big Ten would have Michigan, Nebraska, Ohio State, and USC. So Notre Dame is the only non-Big Ten, non-SEC team in the top 10. But as you're gonna see as we go along, like in 11th place, another Big Ten team, Penn State. They have 651 wins. They were in 7th on the other list at 920. Number 12 is Auburn. They would have 644 wins. They were 13th on the other list at 793. In 13th place, another SEC, LSU, 627. On the other list, they were 12th at 833. Number 14, another SEC team, Texas A&M. They had 623 wins. On the other list, they were 16th with 771. Now, number 15 is the first other conference, and that's the Pac-12 with Washington. Washington has 604 wins. On the other list, they would have been 18th at 760. Then we're going to go back to the SEC. We'd have Florida in 16th place. They have 598 wins. On the other list, they were 20th at 754. And then in 17th place, we have a tie. They're both ACC schools. The first one I put was Clemson because on the other list, they were ranked ahead. They would have been 14th on the other list at 789. And they were tied with Georgia Tech, 598 wins on this list, and they were 21st on the other list at 749. And then we go back to the Pac-12, which surprised me. Utah would be number 19 on the list with 579 wins, and they were actually 32nd on the other list at 711. And then we have Arkansas 20th, 576 wins here, 23rd place on the other list at 736. Then we have North Carolina at 574, 28th on the other list at 721. Then we have Minnesota on 22nd place, 564. They were 26th on the other list at 727. Then back in the Big Ten with Wisconsin and 23rd place, 559, 24th on the other list at 735. Then we go back to the Pac-12 at Oregon on 24th place. They were 559. They were 34th on the other list at 692. Back in the SEC at 25th, we got Missouri, 549. They were 33rd on the other list at 702. Then we go to the Pac-12 again in 26th place, and we got Colorado. They were 536, and they were 30th on the other list at 719. 27th position has Pitt. They have 527 wins. They were 19th on the other list at 758. Then the first non-Power 5 team shows up in 28th place, Miami of Ohio. They have 462 wins. They were 31st on the other list at 713. Then we have Virginia Tech in 29th place, 454. They were 17th on the other at 766. And then in 30th position, we have West Virginia with 450 wins. They were 15th on the other list at 774. And then we show up with Navy with 432. Syracuse.
The academies were included in this.
Yeah, academies were. Navy was 31st. Army was 34th. And then you had Syracuse and Boston College making 32nd and 33rd. So what that kind of showed me is if you go, we get a lot of people making fun of the SEC because we play a cupcake game the second to the last week. But if you look at the leaders of these, if you take the FBS out, the wins, I mean, we got Texas 1, Oklahoma 2, Bama 4, Georgia 9, Tennessee 10, Auburn 12, LSU 13, Texas A&M 14. So 8 of the top 14 teams are the SEC when you take the FBS wins out. So that shows you we're not playing all that many.
I know, and I just want to hear your rebuttal to this, because I know a lot of people who say, well, you can't really judge FBS, FCS until probably about 1980, because they all played each other on a regular basis, and it was just like in proximity, close games and stuff, and just it didn't have TV money and all this revenue to go off and play a game in California against UCLA, so they had to stick close by and play Furman, right? So I mean, you're going to hear that. What would be your rebuttal to that? To say, okay, you're right, or okay, you're wrong because of this.
Okay, I agree to some of that at some point, but I don't even know who this is. Let me look this up right now. Okay, right now I'm on Utah. Okay, I'm on Utah's Winsipedia. Okay, and on here, Utah was ranked 19th. They're non-FBS. I mean, they played some good teams. They got a winning record against North Dakota State, Montana State. That I understand. But Fort Wayne isn't that close. Let's see. Creighton, they played Creighton from Nebraska. So, I mean, there's closer school. Some of these, there are closer schools for them to play.
Seriously, how fair is that when Utah didn't even play in a Power 5 conference for a long time?
But be honest with you, Utah had one of the fewest takeaways. They only won 132 games against non-Power 5. So I mean, they actually play a lot more.
They're gaining in this. I know this. But what I'm saying is you're looking at a grand scheme of things, and let's just say, okay, now a team is Power 5 that wasn't Power 5 before, right? So you can't never really say that about Penn State. Right, you can't never say it about Penn State. You can't never really, hell, you can't say it about West Virginia. I mean, we've always played pretty tough schedules and things. We've always played the Penn States and the Pitts and stuff and things back in the day. So you can't really say that. How can you say, okay, Utah, who used to play occasionally a tough game, a couple of tough games, but for the most part they played a G5 schedule.
But playing,
I know it's still
it's still
FCS.
An FBS. I mean,
or FBS. I'm sorry, but I'm just saying that it's still. I don't know how you could justify looking at that and saying, okay, let's take all these things away.
I look at teams like Michigan, Bama, Texas, Oklahoma. We've always played big boy schools. You know what I mean? Now, this year, and I ain't going to lie, we do play some non-FBS. We got the cupcake towards the end of the year, but you know what? I put a post up today. I don't know if anybody saw it. Did you see the Big Ten's toughest non-out-of-conference games? Everybody in the Big Ten is playing a Power 5 team out of conference, except for Michigan. Its toughest out-of-conference game is East Carolina.
Yeah.
Now there are some teams like look at Miami of Ohio. They're still not a Power 5.
Well, let's be honest, though. I mean, are we going to count Penn State against West Virginia as a tough game? I mean, seriously. And I'm not putting down my team whatsoever. It's just that right now, and every team goes through it. We're going through that little down period of 4 or 5 years of being really, really bad. And every team goes through it. Alabama's went through it. Georgia's went through it. Everybody has.
Yeah.
And we're going through it. So I don't think you could really count Penn State's. I mean, I guess overall, if you look at the grand scheme of things and you say, okay, well, West Virginia is the 15th winningest program of all time. We're 30th on your charts, right?
Right.
So that's a tough game either way you look at it, right? It's a tough game either way you look at it. But still, yet they're down so much that you can't really count Penn State as saying, well, they're playing a powerful team.
Right, but honestly, at least they're playing a Power 5, though. Because even
Right.
if West Virginia is down, the talent on your team is still a hell of a lot better than the talent that's going to be on East Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
I agree.
I just think personally, I would love to see all conferences go to 10-game conference, play one other Power 5, and everybody plays a small school to give them money. Because let's be honest, I don't want to take away the small school, because guess what? When North Dakota State goes to Iowa and plays Iowa pays for their football program for the year, or a good chunk of it. They give them, $1 million to come and play. Well, that $1 million goes a long way at North Dakota State.
A couple years ago, we played Long Island University. I think it was their first football game ever in Long Island University. We give them a Kickstarter. We give them $1 million to come and play us, at Morgantown. They got their ass kicked, but hey, they came, they showed up, paid them, got their $1 million, and now they're financing their football program. I think that's a great thing. And that's where I worry about going to two conferences. That can really hurt these lower division schools, especially because when you figure the basketball money from these conferences pays for these programs, these lower divisions, the basketball money pays for them to be able to have these sports. And if you get down to where you just got a couple of power conferences, and we got to look at this on the grand scheme of things. We can't look at it as just football, right? It would be basketball as well. So, I mean, we have to think about this and say, okay, we got to put a break on this somewhere and be able to support these lower programs. I'm sorry, Hillbilly, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I disagree with that, bro, because to me, maybe it's just the free market American in me, but I believe, any endeavor like a sports team needs to be able to support itself. And it's like, okay, a lower division, these lower division schools, well, guess what? Lower division schools are never going to have the talent to compete. They're never going to be able to make the kind of money that a big school can. And I don't think a big school, right, the big program should, what I'm saying? It's like it's not incumbent on Peter to pay Paul. To me, it's I just
okay. But we look at it as Appalachian State shouldn't be able to compete with Texas A&M. We look at it like that too, but they do. So what do you do there?
Well, no, but you see, that's what I'm saying. Here's what you're saying, though. It's like when it goes to a Power 2 conference, okay, those types of let's call them, in any distribution field, you have the outlier, right? Games like that from time to time are what's called an outlier. Well, those are going to happen less and less when the distribution of the talent becomes more concentrated toward the mean or the Power 2 conferences. So it's like, but then again, right, you're always going to have Appalachian State and these teams, right, in their own, they're always going to have their own league to compete in, and they're going to become like feeder conferences for NIL deals for the Big Two, right? Like, this kid's having a breakout year at Appalachian State in the lower division. Let's offer him a little NIL money and bring him up here to the Big Two, Power Conference. And I actually think that will be better for the kids because it's like they'll have, to me, a better support structure, like a better support system coming up. I think you'll get a better crop of coaches coming up that way, right? It's like they're going to have more, like an actual rank system they'll work their way up through. We'll see.
Goodness
Now,
gracious,
what I'm worried about, Hillbilly, on kind of like that, is from what I'm hearing from people, and these are reporters saying this, that the next TV go around, the money's going to be a lot different. The Big 12, the ACC, the Pac-12 aren't going to get the chunks that they're getting now. That the next go around, more money is going to get fed into the Big 10 and the SEC.
Here's the problem with that, though, Jeff. We say that now, right? But let's just say, I don't know, let's just say Oklahoma State all of a sudden starts dominating the Big 12, and they're winning, and they go and win a national championship. They make, out of the next 6 years, they make 2 playoff and win a national championship both times. And all the other times they're ranked in the top 10. How do all of a sudden you say, okay, we're not giving no money to Big 12?
Well, here's the reason that is, Joey.
What if it's Oklahoma State, West Virginia, and TCU, and all three of them are coming close and finishing in the top 15 every year? How do they do that? They can't say that right now.
The number.
No, Joey, they can say, because they're not looking at the rankings is the problem. What they're looking at, and the numbers that ESPN and Fox looks at. ESPN and Fox don't look, because if they looked at who won the national championships, guess what? The Big Ten would not be making the money that the SEC makes.
Think of
the
all
Big Ten has markets and academics. The SEC has product.
Okay,
what they're looking at are
West Virginia's the largest television market and largest fan base in the Big 12, right? How can they push them away? But they're on par. They beat half the SEC, half the ACC, half the Pac-12, half the Big Ten. How do you push them out?
It's really simple, Joey. Because West Virginia don't draw a lot of eyes when they're in Kansas. West Virginia don't draw a lot of eyes when they're in Iowa State, when Alabama's playing LSU at that time, or USC's playing Michigan at that time. The problem is all the big markets and all the eyes, honestly, are on the Big Ten and the SEC. And that's what the numbers are looking at. If you look at the true numbers, Joey, believe it or not, and I'm not saying this that it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but they went through the numbers, and actually the Pac-12 had better TV numbers in 8 of the 12 weeks of the Big 12.
Right, I know this because of Oregon and Washington. That's what I'm saying. Oregon and Washington, if Oregon and Washington came to the Big 12, they'd be the two biggest markets by far, right? And then there'd be West Virginia. What I'm saying is you can't say, all right, let's take Oregon and Washington stay in the Pac-12, West Virginia stays in the Big 12, and Clemson and FSU and Miami stay in the ACC. You can't feasibly sit there and say that the networks have looked at this and they are not going to be throwing no money at these conferences when next contract comes up. Because guess what? These teams decide not to move conferences. There's no way they're going to turn away 1.75 million average viewers for West Virginia every week. There's no way they're going to turn away 1 million average viewers for Oregon every week.
ESPN and Fox is reporting.
I think what they're trying to do there, Jeff, right, is they're trying to just go ahead and only deal like with two conferences and pull the Oregons and the Washingtons into those conferences, right? Instead of dealing.
And unfortunately, that's what they want.
They'll have the markets, but they're trying to pull them into the Big Ten. See, and here's the thing, right, Joey, that got me, right, that I understand now, that why winning national championships and big games doesn't matter, right, to TV and stuff. Look at all the money Notre Dame commands. They haven't won a championship in 40 years or something?
35 years.
Right? Think of that. And they're still right there. They was asking $75 million from NBC.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what you win. It's who's watching you. And every game Notre Dame is in. I got to be honest with you. I don't like Notre Dame, but I'm going to watch Notre Dame. No offense, a Notre Dame game before I am, West Virginia. That's just,
Well, I think the suggestion that could help the Big 12 is do like a Big 12 Thursday night, so to speak.
Right.
That could really help.
Honestly, if you don't want a Big 2 conference, there's only one thing that can happen right now. If you want to stop the Big 2 conference, then the three commissioners of the other conference need to get together and say, fuck this, we're not going to make it. We're going to blow up all three fucking conferences, and we're going to take the top 16 to 20 teams. And the rest of you, we're sorry. But the only way the top 16 teams are going to survive without the Big 2 is we need the 16 or 20 best teams. We're going to take 4 from the Pac, 4 from the Big, 4 from the ACC. That's 12. Okay? And then after that, we're going to take the top 4 from each of the 3. And then we're going to say, okay, who's the next 6 or who's the next?
Can you imagine how the Kansas State and Central Florida people would melt down?
Oh, yeah. But Tony, I mean, that's what it looks like, though. That's the only way these other 3 conferences will honestly last, unfortunately.
Oh
I
man,
know, Jeff. If they want to try to compete financially, you are completely correct.
Oh, and Tony, we got a person. He's a USC fan. Was giving me shit that. Well, the number 2 team in the goddamn pack, they lost to Tulane, and I said, so the number 2 team in the pack lost to Tulane, but the number 1 team in the Big 12 lost to Tulane. So
Yeah,
what's
I
worse,
did say
the
that.
number 1 team or the number 2 team?
yeah.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
Kansas State ain't the number 1 team. It's like
I don't know
Well,
this game.
Kansas
I don't know.
State
I
did
do
win
not.
the Big 12, so
I do not know this game you speak of, Jeff.
You know, now, Tony, you wasn't here earlier, and I threw your name out about some stuff.
That's a
and
dangerous
things.
proposition this week.
Well, no, I was kind of giving you a not a punch in the gut, but just coming back at you on some stuff, and then, but at the same time, letting everybody know they're wrong. You know that because the simple fact is, none of us know for certain what's going to happen, right? I mean, we don't. We're not. None of us are sitting in these meetings.
Oh, I'm pretty sure at this point we know what's going to happen. I think Mark Harlan helped us.
I think we do too, and I
feel
think
that
we're
for
all
sure.
agreement here, Tony. I think me and you and Jeff all agree that all's well in the Pac-12, and it's fine. But like I say, none of us really know for sure. And the thing about it is here's what I say: is if all these people are talking about, well, Utah is going to jump for sure. I mean, Utah's look. If Utah was going to jump for sure, they would have done it already. If Utah was going to jump for sure, they'd be. You're saying we are gone.
Yes, they all of them. In all honesty, if any of them were, and I've said this for months and months, if any of them were going to go, they would have gone. So I don't play the sources game, and you guys know that. But I got word from the highest possible levels of Arizona, and I mean that like with all sincerity, that when USC and UCLA, and Joey and Jeff and I talked about this, but when USC and UCLA made their decision, Arizona looked at other options very, very briefly. I mean, we're talking like a couple days, and quickly came to the realization that for many reasons, as long as the California elements of the Pac-12 were still there, that was where they were going to be. And that has not changed. And anyone who has told you anything other than that, and I hate to sound like a dick like this, is lying. and there are a few people, and they work for CBS, who have lied to the public.
And we have so and just to let everybody know too, Tony and I have a disagreement about something out of my university, West Virginia, and that is that he wrote a letter to Gee, and he's got an answer back on that, and it disagrees with something that I've heard out of West Virginia, and that is that Arizona and Arizona State are talking to the Big 12. Doesn't mean they're coming, guys. Don't take that as Joey said this.
That's not my no.
They're discussing.
So first of all, when you say discussing with, it is not at any active level with the school.
Right. That's what I'm saying is. What I'm saying is discussing means.
And by the way, the
West Virginia. Guess what West Virginia is doing right now?
Joey, stop.
Guess what
Joey, stop.
West Virginia is talking to everybody.
Okay, stop for just a sec. I need to be very clear of something. President Gee has verified what is a series of fake imposter attempts that have come from some media outlet tied to the Big 12 that tried to perpetuate false information. We are not in the weeds as to exactly what because there is a lot of false information. The point is that the people spreading the information were false. And that period. The people spreading the information were false.
Is this all about negotiations and stuff then, Tony, you think?
It's what basically they have employed PR firms who are paying people to pretend to be like, anytime you see this bullshit stuff about like, well, I have sources, like a lot of that stuff, those people, they don't really have anything. They're like fake PR people.
It's the magic 8 ball,
So-
damn it.
I messaged now this is not somebody really high in West Virginia. I'll be honest. This is not somebody really
Yeah,
high.
and
This
guys,
is
I don't. If you guys
no.
want to get into like talking about different rumors and stuff, then this is not the place for me to be right now.
No, I'm not. We're not getting into
Okay,
that.
because I really don't want to
into
get into this right now.
that. I don't
not
want to get
really.
into it either. No, I'm
Okay.
trying to dispel.
Because if
I
that's
really
a
am.
conversation you guys want to
want
have,
to
I need to
dispel-
not be here.
I'm
Okay,
trying to
Tony,
dispel
though, I
some
do got
of it.
something to tell you,
Let me-
Tony. I got good
Yeah.
news for you. You are now a god on Twitter.
Oh Lord.
Did you get a blue
You
check?
are. I told them all you're God. Because
Huh.
3 people today told me that you are my daddy, and I'm like, well, I'm a hell of a lot fucking older than him, so that would have to make him a god to have a kid before he was born.
Thank
No,
you, Jeff.
I'm not.
Thank
I'm not, Tony. Believe me, I'm not trying
Okay,
to.
I don't
I'm
want to get
trying
into
dispel a
that because
rumor.
again,
I'm trying to dispel a rumor
again,
here.
I
So
don't want to.
I messaged somebody. I
Okay.
messaged somebody at West Virginia. That's
I
not
really
real
don't want to
high.
have this discussion, so I gotta
No,
run.
no, Tony, you want to hear this? Really, it's nothing.
Okay, I really
And I
don't.
said,
But
I
like,
said, tell me what's going on with this Pac-12, Big 12 business. And he said, there's nothing going on with it. And I said, what do you mean there's nothing going on with it? He said, there's nothing going on with it because there's nobody leaving the Pac-12 coming to the Big 12. That's a bunch of bull.
yeah.
And
that
that
is
was what
correct.
I was told.
Okay.
Now that
you
it
heard
actually
correct.
dispels some rumors right there.
It
Because
should.
I mean, this is not a high-ranking person. This isn't Gee, and this isn't some regent, but this is somebody in the know. Okay, this is somebody that's like one level below Gee. Okay, and so I do not think that the Pac-12 is going to stop by any means, and I don't think the Big 12 is going to absorb any team from the Pac-12. I don't. I think they're going to get their TV deal. Now, what happens in 2031 or 2030 or 2032? Who knows? I think that's up in the air still yet. But for
Yeah.
right now, nothing. I do not believe anything is going to happen.
Yeah,
I think
I
Pac-12 is going to take a
just to
couple
end
of
this
teams.
discussion area, I think you're completely right.
Now,
That's
Tony,
100% right, Joey.
How happy were you this week last week that USC and UCLA got to set in on their very first Big Ten meeting?
Hey, we'll take it. I love it.
You guys got to set in, and they were discussing the schedule. I see.
Well, and I mean the other. So that was the ADs. I mean the funny thing is, like the presidents work together on this stuff all the time. Like,
Oh yeah,
for example, the chairman of the Big Ten is the vice chairman of the AAU, and the chairman of the AAU is USC.
right.
So like they're all like the intertwining web of these of USC and UCLA has always been like wildly intertwined with the Big Ten.
Now I heard something, and tell me if I heard it wrong or right or indifferent. Somebody was telling me that Texas Tech is probably going to get AAU status. And I didn't think that would be true, but I thought maybe you would know. Have you heard anything about that?
So I mean, I don't know the inner dynamics of that organization. I would not think that they are as close as many other places, and they.
Yeah, I
only
had
let
other
in,
people higher on the list.
I would think so.
Houston's AAU, right?
No.
No.
I asked because I know the Pac-12 had mentioned something about if they took anybody, it would be Houston and Texas Tech.
No, it's Houston and TCU.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's right, Houston and TCU. Sorry.
That was a year ago. Just a sec. That was a year ago, and what it was when they were evaluating whether or not they should expand because everybody was trying to get in.
Right.
I think everybody except West Virginia. They did the calculations and they talked to the TV people. Funny enough, they actually hired the people to analyze it for them, who are the people currently running the disinformation campaign against them, reportedly.
How does that
Uh,
work?
Yeah, exactly.
And a shout out here to Clint Foster for his videos last year about the Pac-12 expansion and stuff.
The
And
funniest
he had the
videos
West Virginia
ever.
guy walk in the room and say, "There's just no need in being here, right?" And the other people said, "Nah, there's no need." And West Virginia guy walked out.
That was a
But
riot.
shout out to my good buddy, Clint
Clint is
Foster.
awesome.
And if anybody, if you haven't
Yeah,
seen his
because
videos, you got to check it out.
supposedly they did the math on that, and they came up with the best options for them. Of course, I mean, this is not rocket science, right? The best options be in Houston and Dallas.
Yeah.
But however, with USC and UCLA at the table, that meant that everyone was going to get less money. And USC finally just said that was one of the first instances of USC saying, absolutely not. We will not take less money on anything.
Yeah, because you guys were already taking less money because rid of unequal revenue sharing.
Exactly.
Well, according to their books, they're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul now, right?
Who?
UCLA.
Yeah, well,
Am I right about
UCLA's
that?
accounting is we have a whole
They're
thing.
borrowing
I'm not
from
saying
themselves.
shady.
I'm not saying they're broke. I'm saying they're on books. They're borrowing from Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, they're borrowing from themselves to pay themselves.
Right.
And then they're using that paying themselves to pay themselves in other ways.
Yeah.
It's really
It's
shady.
the old
There's
free
nothing
card
fishy about
money.
I do go back. And by the way, I was sorry, for anybody listening, because somebody will furiously type in the comments. When I say shady, I'm not talking about anything inappropriate. I'm talking about what I think is deceptive use of correct accounting practices, managerial deception.
Yep.
Because there's people who like angrily go, they're like, well, then this should be audited. I'm like, no, guy. Well, first of all, it is audited. But yeah, guys, this is just
You're not hiding money or stealing or this and that. It's just
shady accounting.
when most schools put athletic department funds together, they put the whole freaking athletic department. They don't put the parking over here and the concession stands over there. And Alabama don't pay Alabama for the right of the stadium or.
Exactly. I mean, UCLA has all kinds of wild, shady things with its marketing. It has, and the other piece is athletics plays a very serious role in fundraising.
You don't get school of accounting.
Yeah, and UCLA raises $800 million a year. So guess what, guys? Like, there's plenty of money.
Yeah. And like I was always,
I get crazy every morning. I get crazy every morning when I wake up and I've got like these 100 Twitter, either 100 Twitter messages or just 100 Twitter things that have been sent out overnight from Pac-12, Big 12 guys, and from Tony and from H.H. Burr or whatever the hell his name is. You know, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, stop the madness.
Wait a minute, Joey.
Said that. Stop the madness.
Joey, do you talk to MHVERS3?
Hell no. I don't talk to him at all.
You need to write him. Somebody needs to send him a message. I haven't heard from him in 2 days. I'm worried.
Yeah. I don't talk to him at all. You know, the thing about it is, and here's what gets me too. I had somebody tell me this the other day. I went into a stream and they said, "Oh, you're one of them Tony Altimore guys." What? Yeah, what the hell is that coming from? Tony's a friend of mine, you know, and they're like, no. Tony is wrong. He's wrong on all this shit, you know. And I mean, I started catching hell because of Tony.
Sorry about that, Joey. Although
no.
Not to
Not your
that for
fault.
details. I haven't been wrong yet.
That's
Well,
their
Tony-
stupidity, Tony.
Tony, I got bad news for you, man. I got bad news.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to send you my PayPal link or something, but if you're my freaking dad, I want some money, dude.
All right.
Okay?
Well, Jeff, here's the thing. It's like, people are like, oh, your theory's wrong. I'm like, guys, I haven't been wrong on anything yet because I told you nobody was going and nobody left.
Hey, Tony, I don't have Twitter, man. Should I? You know, what's going on,
You
man?
should stay away from it.
You're lucky. You're one of the lucky ones.
Hillbilly, stay away from it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will
stay
tell
away from
you.
Twitter.
I'll tell you that's wild. is
I'm too country, man. You know what I'm
somebody
saying?
is
As an old country guy.
your favorite West Virginia account is certainly being ghost written, because we know the individual who we believe we know. I've been told the individual who supposedly owns it, and a lot of people know the individual who owns it. I don't actually know him, but
I told you who I think it is. I told y'all who I think it is, and I
that's
still
not
stand by
who-
that. I don't know how.
we'll chat afterwards, but that's not whoever the individual is that owns the account is not the individual who's writing a lot of its messages.
Oh,
That's from a linguistics perspective.
I think it's funny that that I get up every morning though, and like I was going to say, and I go through these tweets and I see 10 tweets that say Arizona State, UCLA, Utah, and Colorado headed to the Big 12, and then I see 10 tweets that say that ain't never going to happen. It ain't never going to happen. It ain't never going to happen. And they're staying in the Pac-12. Here's my point. How come the Pac-12 don't just come out and just give some kind of a press conference about this shit with all these friggin' rumors flying around?
That they did. They believe that they did. That's the issue. Is that, Joey? You say, why don't they just come out and do this? They will tell you that they did.
I know.
So their point would be, so Joey, we've told you that, and we've had our ADs go on record. Every single one of them has gone on podcasts, given newspaper articles. Right. So every president has said it, and every AD has said it, and their answer would be, now I personally think that they need to be active in dispelling the false information. I think that they're acting like they're the NSA and they need to stop. They're not the NSA. They don't need to treat the press like the NSA. But their answer would be, Joey, we effing have. So get off your ass and stop acting like we haven't. That's what, and they should say that. You know,
I agree.
I don't like to say.
Here's the problem with this country, Tony. Here's the problem with this country, Tony. The president can release a statement, and everybody's like, did that really come from the president? Did that come from some secretary or from some pencil pusher down the line? Until the president gets in front of the microphone and says it himself, we don't believe it, right?
You know, Joey, they still don't believe it.
Think about this. We still have people who think we went to the moon.
Here's the thing. You can pull up an hour-long podcast from like a week and a half ago with Dave Hickey, the Arizona AD. And yet Arizona's Baloney 247 website is still publishing nonsense. Like, literally their own AD has made fun of them, and they're still doing it.
But now I've heard reports. Now, I've not seen these reports myself, Tony, that Endeavor is not
guys, I really think that we need to move on, but go ahead.
Is that true? I'm just wondering about Endeavor. I'm hearing reports that Endeavor is not part of this, that they released their statement saying, hey, this is not our tactics. We wouldn't do this.
No,
that's a lie. They have done it in the past. They've done it in the past.
I'm sure they have PR subcontractors, but Endeavor is absolutely. Endeavor runs the Big 12's content strategy.
Okay.
I'm with you guys.
I didn't know. I just wondered.
I really don't want to get in. I'm done with dealing with Big 12 ignorance for the night.
I admit that to everybody, including Tony and Jeff and everybody in chat all the time. I'm pretty dumb when it comes to football.
We kicked that horse enough.
Here's what we're going to do. Since Jackson has not been playing trivia with us, he don't know the cards. So I'm going to let Jackson pick one of the decks, and I'll give each one of you a card from the same deck, and we'll see who does better. Jackson, I have Genesis 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and I have All American.
Okay.
Genesis 2, Jackson. Genesis 2.
Which one do you think would be a good one?
Genesis 2 sounds pretty good.
All right, you guys are all going to play Genesis 2.
That's the hardest one. I got to set it all up there, Jackson.
1, 2, 3. There's 4 of you. I'll pull 4 cards. Here's 4 cards. All right. Tony, we'll go with you first.
All right.
This is a good question. This should be an easy question.
That's always a bad sign.
It should be an easy question, but it's probably going to be a hard question. The good news is it's a 50-50. That's why it's going to be hard. What way does a yield sign point? Does a yield sign point up or down?
It points up.
It is down.
Oh, is it down? Oh no, I'm thinking of the caution sign, not the yield sign. You're right. I'm thinking of the caution sign.
All right. Here's your entertainment question. What comic trio offered the ditty, "She was bred in old Kentucky, but she just a crumb up here"?
The Three Stooges? I don't know.
There you go. Three Stooges. Yeah, just the only trio you know.
Yeah, okay. It was that or nothing.
Mo, Larry, and Curly, or
Shim.
All right, Tony, here should be an easy history question for you. Who was the first president to appear at a live televised news conference?
Live televised.
Yep, live televised news conference.
Live televised news.
Well, I mean, I'm trying to think about like what. I mean, they had TV under FDR. I don't know if he actually did live televised news conference, but I would have thought he would have done something. So let's say FDR because they had. I mean, they had it.
I think honestly, it's either Harry S. Truman.
Yeah, it's one of the two.
FDR.
It's one of the two, but I'll go with FDR.
You guys are all early.
It's Ike.
Was it Ike?
It was JFK.
Wow.
Yeah, Truman and them, they all did television, but it was never live. It was always
recorded,
and yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder what they recorded it on back then.
Yeah, that is interesting because I think the first live football game was in the 40s. Was in the early 40s.
Right.
It was wax. They recorded it on wax.
Yeah, just about.
Yeah.
They had the little bird fly into the camera and peck it like in Flintstones. And...
Exactly.
All right, here's an art and literature question. What's Bottom's first name in Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream?
Whose first name?
What's Bottom's first name in Shakespeare's A Midnight's Dream?
Puck? I don't know.
No. Does anybody know?
It's been so long since I read it.
Nick.
It was Nick. All right. Here is science and nature. What did delinquent dentist William Semple first add to chewing gum in 1869?
Sugar? I don't know.
It was sugar. Yep.
It was.
Yeah, you got to get more patience, you know.
Yeah, he was a dentist and added sugar to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted to get more customers.
Just like a lot of people don't know this, but cotton candy was invented by a dentist. You know, they all look out for you. All right. Here is sports and leisure. Which of baseball's major leagues evolved from the Western Association?
National League.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think it was in America. I'm sorry. Everybody started guessing.
I would guess the NL, but I don't know.
It was the AL, the American League.
Uh-oh. Katie is frowning on me from the heavens.
All right, Tony, you got 3 out of 6. That wasn't bad.
Hey, I'll take it. I didn't goose egg.
All right, Hillbilly, are you ready?
Let's have it.
What 5 countries did Charles Lindbergh fly over on his epic flight?
What 5 countries did he fly over?
Yep, on his epic flight.
Oh, What 5 countries did Lindbergh
Well-
fly?
Well, we know two out of 5 of them should be easy.
Right, like America and Canada. Would that be?
Well, those two, yeah, but the Canada shouldn't have been the easy one. There should have been another one easier than Canada. But yeah, the U.S., because that's where he started. And then obviously he went past Canada. So there's 2 of the 5. Who are the other 3?
Ireland,
That's the 3rd.
England,
That's the 4th.
and France, I guess.
That's where he ended, was in France. So like I said, the first and the last should be easy because he started in America and he ended in France. So you just got to know the 3 in between.
All right.
All right, here's your entertainment. What famed wire walker learned his craft in 1920s from Louis Weitzman?
Oh, geez. I forget his name now, man.
I would have never got his first name to save my life, but I knew the last name.
Yeah. Didn't his entire family kept doing it, right? Doesn't like
Oh,
his-
yeah. No, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like I know it's a whole family, but I can't remember the name.
Because they were wire walkers and they were trapeze. I mean, yeah,
I thought no way it's the Walendas, right?
Walinda. Yeah, that is who it is.
Wow.
Yep. That's good.
It wasn't coming to me at all.
It was Carl Walinda. Like I said, I knew Walinda, but I would have had no idea Carl was his first name.
All right.
All right. Here's a good question for you. You got the first one right on Charles Lindbergh. Let's see how well you know Lindbergh. History. How many sandwiches did Charles Lindbergh take with him on his historic transatlantic flight?
Oh, geez, man. Come on now. How many sandwiches? Oh, geez. Yeah, it's like I don't know, right? So
I
I'm
knew
sitting here,
this because I've seen a documentary on it that I almost forgot it.
right?
Now, remember, there was no stewardess to give him nuts or stuff like that, so he had to just live on the sandwiches. How many were there?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how many would you take, right? Do you want to take?
Well, I'm a
enough?
fat guy. I'd take a dozen. I mean,
Yeah, but do you want to deal with the a long flight, the complications that might lead to? Something starts knocking at the back door. You know what I'm saying? You want to kind of manage that a little bit. Right?
he just wore a diaper. He was all right.
Let's see, how many would I take? It'll be a long flight.
Well, yeah, you got to remember, back then it was a lot longer flight than it is today. So, I mean, you ain't getting there in 8 hours. So,
Yeah, I mean, you have to fly out, right? I forget how long it took, but it was all night. It was, I'd say at least 4. Let's go with 4.
you're 3 for 3.
Was it 4?
It was 4.
But that's good because that's not what the documentary said. The documentary said there was 5 sandwiches. I guess 1 for each country.
One fell out of the window, so they didn't count that one. So. All right, Hillbilly. Art and literature. What author died in Joan Carson's house in 1984?
What author died
In Joan
Carson's house in 1980?
In 1984.
What author? No, I don't think it was Tolkien, was it? No.
Well, I can see you never watched this movie.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about it. Pass.
Does anybody know the author?
Did he write in Cold Blood? He write that?
I
Oh,
don't-
Truman
Truman
Capote.
Capote.
Truman Capote, yeah.
He's that guy that sounded like Droopy Dog when he talked.
Yep. All right. Hillbilly, you were 2 out of 2 out of these. Let's see if you can go 3 out of 3. Here's your science and nature. How many propellers are there on the Spirit of St. Louis?
How many
You
propellers?
knew, yeah, you knew how many countries he flew over. You knew how many sandwiches he brought. Now, how many propellers was there?
Well, the Spirit of St. Louis just had the prop on the nose. So I'd say it had a single prop,
There you go.
right? Yeah.
All right, so you're 4 out of 5. Here's your last question. Sports and leisure. What American was the first black to light the Olympic flame at the site of the games?
Jesse Owens? I can't remember. I don't know.
No, they wasn't going to let him light it in Berlin.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
anybody know?
Muhammad
Yeah,
Ali?
I do.
No, it wasn't Ali.
Because he,
Is it Rayford Johnson?
yeah, that's
who
what it
it
is.
was.
That's it, is Tony.
Yep.
Thanks, Jeff, for choosing UCLA's most favorite person as your answer to your question. Rub it in on basketball season day. Make me have to answer the Bruin. Just kidding. He's actually awesome. He was their student body president.
Did you put the link in the chat? Does anybody want to?
I did. I did put the link. I can put it in again if anybody wants to come in.
I just wondered.
All right, Jackson, are you ready?
All set.
What building, famed in the French Revolution, stood where Colonne de Juliette now rises?
You got me. That's way before my time.
Well, just think of a famous building in
Oh,
France.
the Bastille. That's the Bastille.
There you go. Yep.
That's
Think
right.
of the famous. All right. Here's your entertainment. What Nazi minister did Martin Kozlik portray on the screen 4 times?
So the big question, because I have no idea this one, and I'm not going to steal your answer, but like, is he skinny and Weasley or big and fat?
You wouldn't believe this, but he was blonde and blue-eyed.
That doesn't narrow it down.
Tony, I used to work in a tire factory. My brother worked with me. And one day I was downstairs and he goes, "Hey, I need you to ask a guy upstairs a question." I go, he goes, "I don't know his name." I go, "Well, what's he look like?" My brother goes, "Well, he's an Asian. He's short and he's got black hair." And I'm like, "Okay, that helped." A short Asian with black hair. Yeah, that narrowed it down. Any guesses there, Jackson?
I'm gonna say Goring was portrayed 4 times by some guy. I don't know.
No.
Was it,
Hillbilly or Joey?
was it Goebbels?
Gables.
That was good. Yeah, that was my guess. I was like, I don't know anything about the actor, but it's one of those two, probably.
Plays Goebbels all the time, yeah.
All right, now do you know who Gables was there, Jackson?
Yeah, the right hand man of Hitler, as I recall.
Okay, so you might know the answer to this question then. This is the history question.
All right.
Who killed Joseph Goebbels' daughters?
Ooh. Man. His wife?
Close.
Him?
Him.
Yeah.
Yep, he killed his own daughters. Okay, here's arts and literature. What beat poet penned Reality Sandwiches?
Beat poet.
Any idea, Jackson?
Mm-mm.
It was Allen Ginsberg. Here's Science and Nature. This one is an easy one. Don't overthink this one. What are listed in the periodic table?
What enlisted in the periodic table?
What are listed in the periodic table? When you look up in the periodic table, what are you looking up?
The table of elements.
Elements. Yep. All right. Last question is sports and leisure. What term do collectors use for the highest quality of coins struck?
Ooh.
It's a certain condition, right? They call it.
Yep. Just so you know, 70 is the highest grade in a coin. It goes from 1 to 70.
Sorry, guys. I had to get my arm bandaged back up. My finger was moving a lot and hurt me. So I got your bed to bandage me back up.
Any idea, Jackson?
Right.
Hillbilly? What do you think it is, Hillbilly?
Would it be mint condition?
Mint is actually under this. It
Wow.
goes proof
Good question.
and then mint.
What's the question, Tiger?
What term do collectors use for the highest quality of coins struck?
Oh, that's a proof.
Yeah, it's a proof. It goes proof, and then it goes mint, and then uncirculated, and then circulated.
You know, I thought mint, right? Because you always hear mint condition.
Yep.
And coins are struck at the mint. So, you know,
All
coins
right, Jackson got 3 out of 6. So now Joey, he gets a chance. You got to get at least 4 to tie Hillbilly. If not, Hillbilly wins this. What luxury ship line once claimed getting there is half the fun? I'll give you a hint. It was not the Love Boat.
No.
are.
Getting there.
Or Gilligan's Island. It wasn't half the fun getting there. Ask Ginger and the
Down to
Seafarers.
two. I think it was either Viking or Virgin, so I think I choose one of them. I think it was either Viking or Virgin.
Think of another one.
Oh, neither one of them, huh?
Yeah, it's neither one of them.
Getting there is half the fun. So Disney? I'll get say Disney.
No, it's the Canard.
Oh, okay. I would have never guessed that in a million years. So
All right, here's a good question. Entertainment. What did Louis Armstrong always have in his hand while playing his trumpet?
handkerchief.
It was a handkerchief. Here's your history. What steamship company first ship was the Britannia?
The what?
Ask me that again.
What
sorry,
steamship
I got it.
companies? What steamship company's first ship was the Britannia?
Ooh.
Shit.
I think I know it.
Yeah, I'm wanting to say Canards, but I don't think that's it. Is that it, Tony?
They all ended in IA, so I would think so.
I would go with it, Joey.
Okay, Canards.
Canards was the answer to the first and the third. Jackson had back-to-back gobbles. Hillbilly
Well-
had 3 of them to deal with the spirit of St. Louis. So, I mean, these cards are kind of repetitive.
I mean, I didn't associate it with luxury liners, though.
It, well, Joe, I think that's got to be like 70 years before the ones you're thinking of,
Yeah.
like paddle wheel era or something. I don't know their fleet going back that far, but theirs always end in IA.
Yep. All right,
and
here's your
the
art
White Star is
literature.
always ended in IC. Almost all of them.
Yeah, it's always no. The White Star's always under the Atlantic. All right, art and literature. Which
I like that, Jeff.
they're always under the Atlantic. All right, which two of the four evangelists were also apostles?
That would be John and Matthew.
You got it
No. Yeah, you're right. Mark and Luke.
You're right. No, it's John and Matthew. I just teased him. It's Matthew and John on the card, though.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You got it backwards.
You had me question myself.
All right, Joey. Here's science and nature. Which should you put your money on in a race? A jackrabbit or an ostrich?
That's a serious question.
That is a serious question. Personally, I'd put it on the turtle because Bugs Bunny has taught me many times that freaking turtle.
Yeah, Bugs Bunny does not have any kryptonite, but that turtle is kryptonite for him big time.
Yeah, he can't beat that turtle to save his life, can he?
So now,
Nope.
here's my question, okay? Because you're saying, which should you put your money on in a race, a jackrabbit or an ostrich? Is a person involved in this? Because a person can ride an ostrich, but you can't ride a damn jackrabbit.
Yeah, no, there's no person involved.
So then I would put my money on the jackrabbit.
You're right. Put it on the ostrich.
Oh shit! That I would.
So basically, it's asking which is the fastest of these two animals.
Yeah, what's faster, a jackrabbit or an ostrich?
Yeah, but without a person riding it, an ostrich is like unpredictable.
Well, I guess a rabbit
right.
is too. You know.
Well, yeah, but you can kind of train a rabbit to run from your ass, and they will stay run in a straight line from you. An ostrich will turn around and beat your ass.
I used to, I had rabbit dogs, beagles and stuff. I used to run a lot of rabbits. And
All right, that guy. I'm sorry, I got off on a tangent.
Oh, not a problem. You're gonna love the next question. You're gonna be like, "That's a serious question too." Maybe.
Right.
How many kinds of even money bets can you make in roulette?
Even money. All right, so even money would be a 50-50. So you can make red, black, 0, 0. You can make 2 to 1. So I'm gonna say 5.
You're overthinking it. Try it again.
Well, now wait a minute. Yeah, because 0 and 0, that'll pay you 36. Or
Yeah, because there's only 1 0 and there's only one double zero.
right. So I'm gonna say 3 then. So you can do it on red, black, and 2 to 1.
You can do 3. You can do red and black. You can do even or odd, and you can do high or low. Those are your 3 even money.
Oh well.
Because you,
Yeah.
I mean, you got it right. You got 3.
I put 5 at first, which would be right too, and then I said
no, you
3.
got 3, but the 3 bets are even money, red or black, and then you can go either odd or even, and then you can bet either high or low.
But that's what I meant when I was saying 2 to 1 was even odd.
You got 4 out of 6, Joey. You're as smart as a hillbilly.
Hey, hillbilly and the mountaineer is the same thing, really.
Hillbilly's a hell of a lot smarter than me. Don't let nobody fool you. Hillbilly is
Oh, I ain't
a lot smarter than me.
All right. Tony, which of the decks would you like?
We'll take the American.
All right, let's try you guys on American. Let's see who's
Dumbass.
more American out of you
Dumbass.
four. All right, I got 4 cards here. Let me get these 4 cards. All right. Here's your question, Tony. We'll start with you. What future president broke into the dean's office at Duke Law School to check his class standing?
Nixon.
He was not a crook, but he did break in.
Hey, there was a pattern, wasn't there? Wasn't there a pattern?
There was a pattern to break-ins. Okay, here's your entertainment question. Who made Millie Small's heart go giddy up?
I have no idea what that even is. So
You never heard of Millie Small doing the song "Go Giddy Up"?
Shit,
It was a song from
John
like.
Wayne. I don't know.
I think I accidentally just gave the answer. I'm sorry.
Who did you say, John? John, I didn't hear you.
I said my boy Lollipop. I think I give the
That's
answer.
who
but
it is. My boy Lollipop.
I'm sorry. I
Makes
was
my
trying
heart
to name
go
the
giddy
song
up.
to help him, and I think I just named the damn.
Nice
answer
job.
quick.
I had no idea.
All right, here we go. Oh,
Yes.
hey, Traveling Fool, how are you?
What's going on?
Well,
Yeah, I had a
thought
quick-
people might get bored, so I thought I'd do a little show early tonight since you got your big show, Smoking Guns, at what, 11:30?
Yeah, hopefully 11.
Okay, yep.
Hopefully,
That means-
hey, I had a quick question.
What's up, Will?
I had a quick question for you. I just hooked this new mic up. How does it sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good here, buddy.
Okay, I was just trying. I didn't want to go live on. I wanted to make sure it actually sounded decent before I did. So.
I hear it breaking
Right.
up. Is that just my internet? I mean, I'm hearing him like sputter a little
He
bit.
broke up the second time. He started breaking the second, but then he came back. When he was first talking, it was fine.
His
How
camera
about?
too.
Yeah. How about now? Everything good?
Yeah,
I think
that
your
sounds-
camera's fine, but I think his internet speed is a little because his video's choppy
Reset
right
your
now.
Yeah.
internet. Reset your internet and come back.
Yeah, I have to do that. All right, cool. But the mic sounds all right.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
the mic sounds
Yeah, it
great,
sounds
but
good.
like I said, I think the chopping though is because I can watch your fan spin and stop, and then spin and then stop. So I think it's your internet that's getting you.
I got you. I'll reset it. All right, cool. I'm
right,
listening in the background. So. All right, we'll see you guys.
All right, and I'll make sure everybody comes over before your show goes on. I'm excited to listen to you tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, cool. Awesome. All right, we'll see you guys there. Thanks.
Get a
All right,
sneak
I'm
peek.
there.
Can you get a sneak
Look
peek?
forward to
What are
it.
we talking about? Ah, shit, he left me.
Hey,
All
hey,
right.
which of you guys was on Thursday there with Kev, Rooster the other day?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was.
That was a great little show he had on there, wasn't it?
Yeah, we set that up at the last minute too because like he messaged me and said, "Joey, I want to go live. Help me." I was like, "Okay, yeah, I can do that." And I just started reaching out to people and like, "Hey, we're going to do a show," and people just started flocking in. As you've seen. Yeah, it was a great show. We had a great show.
Well, look at the good folks we got here, man. Tony, Will. Any of you guys do a show, I'm going to check it out. So,
What's up, Will?
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Loud and clear. Can you hear us?
Will.
Okay, good. Yo, we have our championship game tomorrow at 1, and I'm nervous and excited.
You're gonna win.
BMI, BCU, BCU. Which
Yeah,
one are
1
you?
p.m. Well, I was about to walk to the gym, but I wanted to hop in. But yeah. So 1 o'clock, CBS. I think we'll win, but there's always that chance that we could lose. So,
all right.
Who do you play?
but
with?
I think we're clearly the better team.
Who do you
Yeah,
play?
you'll
with?
win.
Yeah.
Where's it being played at?
It's in Brooklyn, Barclays Center, and we're playing Dayton.
Oh,
Dayton.
nice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dayton sucks. Dayton sucks.
Well, Dayton's guards aren't very good. they have good big men, but their guards aren't that. Like our guards are just so much better than theirs.
And so you need good guard play when you get into tournaments like this. So I don't think
Yeah.
you have to worry.
Yeah. hmm But yeah, it's funny that their coach used to coach at VCU. Then he went to Bama, and then he got fired from Bama, and now he's at Dayton.
I wish you a lot more luck in West Virginia had the other night with Kansas, but we got our ass handed.
Well, look at the bright
What
side,
is
Bill.
this? What is this round orange ball sport you speak of?
And Will, if he was dumb enough to coach Alabama, he ain't that good of a coach.
Yeah.
We got a good
Round
coach
ball.
now, but most of the coaches, you don't want to come to Bama. That's a death sentence in
Yeah.
basketball.
The thing about it is, Tony, round ball's the way of the future for the Big 12, maybe. That's about how it looks.
Then you should join the Big East again.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Or just go ahead
Every
and bring
time I
some
hear that,
Georgetown.
I
Just
just
go ahead and bring
imagine my West
Georgetown,
Virginia
Marquette,
friends.
Villanova, and Gonzaga, and just be a basketball coach.
Yeah, every time I hear that, I just imagine my poor West Virginia friends like trembling.
Oh, God. Just don't know. I mean, we love our football team. So, I
All
don't
right,
know.
Tony, here's your history question. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
What Apache's leader's name did paratroopers scream while jumping from their planes during World War II?
God,
Geronimo.
are you serious?
Geronimo.
We might
Hey.
have went to like three
Hey,
times.
Yeah, I know it.
Tori thought it was oh shit. She didn't know. All right,
that's
here's
probably what they really said.
yeah. First they said it, then they did it. Okay, here's your
Especially
place.
because I don't think the parachutes were like as reliable back then.
My
No.
first word will be, I hope it deploys.
The nice thing though, if you do take parachuting, in the military, if the chute don't open, they tell you just bring it back. They'll give you a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, all right.
In the military, I had to rappel from helicopters. I had to rappel, but I never had to parachute. But I think, to be honest with you, I think I'd rather parachute than rappel a lot of times.
That's probably true, Joey.
Yeah.
Hot hands, man.
All right, here's your places question. What Florida coastal town name means the mouth of the rat in Spanish?
The mouth of the rat?
Yeah, don't overthink it. What Florida coastal town name means the mouth of the rat?
Miami?
In
I don't know.
Now think of one that would have a kind of a Spanish name.
Well, it's not St. Augustine.
No.
It's not Vero Beach. It's not Palm Beach.
Is it Point St.
Tampa.
Lucie?
No.
Does it literally have the word rat in it?
It does have the word rat in it.
It's
Wow.
not Fort Lauderdale. It's not Boca.
Think about
Boca
it.
what? What is the last name?
Oh,
in
Boca
Boca?
Raton.
Raton?
I should not
There
get
you
credit for that, but why not?
Raton. All right.
That's
Tony,
funny.
here's your science.
I wasn't
and-
even thinking of it because I'm just thinking of it as Boca.
you think of Boca and you're like, yeah, that has nothing to do with it. But wait a minute, there's rat in it.
Oh, yeah.
Like when people, I live in Boca. It's like, I live in Rat's Ass or something like that.
Yeah. The mouth of the rat is
I'm
where
going
I
to use
live.
that from now on to people from there, by the way.
You live in Rat's Ass. Oh, okay.
Okay. What sports athletes compete for the Coronation Cup?
Coronation Cup. It's got to be what, soccer or rugby? Sport. Wait, what sport or what country?
No, what sports athletes compete for the Coronation Cup?
I have no idea. Soccer.
All right. We're going to kick Tony out of the Pac-12 because obviously he wasn't around to watch the Polo Club play.
Ah, that's what.
Come on.
That's what. I should have been able to guess that.
Well, now wait a minute.
I
because
was thinking it was more
don't they
like
call
golf.
it football over there? They call it football over there, which is soccer everywhere else in the world. So it's the same thing.
No, it was polo.
I know, and they call it football.
No, they don't call polo football.
No, they don't call polo football. They call soccer football.
I thought over there they called polo football. The Coronation Cup. Okay.
No,
And I digress.
no. This is a snobbish sport that Tony was too good for, obviously.
No, I never had horses.
All right, here's your wild card. What LA area burg did Fred Allen dub a place where people from Iowa mistake each other for movie stars?
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Good job.
Hooray for Hollywood.
Which is Big Ten country.
Tony got 3 out of 6.
As long as it's
All
not
right.
0.
Hey, Will, you here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you got time to do a card before you go to the gym?
I'll do a card.
All right, I'm gonna put Will ahead of you guys since he's almost ready for a gym. Here we go, Will. These are all American, so these were made in '93.
Great. Let's go.
Who said, I never said I want to be alone. I only said I want to be left alone. There is all the difference.
What's his name? This could be totally wrong. But is it like Solinger, J.P. Solinger?
No,
Okay.
it was a woman.
Oh. Is it the Wizard of Oz girl? I'm trying to remember her name.
Judy Garland, it was not.
Darn it. Okay.
Does anybody know who said I never said I want to be alone? I only said I want to be left alone. There is all the difference.
Oh, that was Greta Garbo.
Greta Garbo is correct. All right. Here's your entertainment question, Will.
Okay.
What Dynasty star titled her autobiography Past Imperfect?
Well, dang, this is another. I'm trying to.
He don't remember Dynasty.
I don't know.
And unfortunately, he
Dynasty.
don't know Dynasty.
Yeah, you don't know that.
I doubt if anybody in this room remembers Dynasty other than Hillbilly.
Oh, trust me,
Oh,
my
look at
parents
that.
watched Dynasty and
Oh, I
Dallas.
know you do. I mean, Hillbilly and me is probably the only
Yeah.
ones in this room.
Yeah.
Tony might.
All right.
Yeah, I
No,
remember when
those are
JR
good
got
guesses.
shot.
I mean, those are incorrect, but those are good guesses. Joey Hillbilly, do you know who it was?
Joan Collins.
Joan Collins. All right, here's your history question, Will. What kind of pins did Gimbal begin flogging for $12.50 each in 1945? What kind of pens did Gimbal begin flogging for $12.50 each in 1945? And you get about 6 of them for $1 today.
Wait, so is it like the? Wait, sorry, I'm trying to think. Is it like the writing pens or like Bobby?
Yeah,
pens,
like the
that?
writing pens. Nope, like the
Okay.
writing pens.
So is it like the company?
No, it's the type of
Type.
pen.
Oh, ballpoint.
Ballpoint is correct.
Okay. I was like, oh, there's so many directions this question could go.
All right. Here's your places. If you know this guy, you'll know the answer. If not, you're in trouble.
Okay.
Where is the home of horror novelist and film writer Stephen King?
I know who Stephen King is. I'm trying to
Do you
think
know
of,
where
but
he's
I
from?
don't like. I haven't read any of his books, so I'm trying to think.
Do you have any idea where he's from?
Iowa.
No,
Okay.
no,
No,
he's not
I don't
from
know.
Iowa. And if you've never seen his movies, because most of his movies are actually are about the same state that he was from.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Does anybody know the home of horror novelist and film writer Stephen King?
Was it Maine?
Yeah, but do you know the city? He wanted the city.
Yeah, and you say the thing about it is I'm wanting to say, and not because it's wrong. I'm wanting to say Bangor, but it's not Bangor. It's Bagnor.
No, I know for a fact how it's pronounced, Joey, because
It's Bangor. Yeah.
the Kennedy came back from Maine and
Everybody
they
says
asked him,
Bangor.
Banger? And he said, of course I did. I'm a Kennedy. So it's Banger.
Everybody says Bangor, Maine. It's not Bangor.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Teddy came back from there and they asked him, Banger? Of course I did. I'm a Kennedy. All right. Will, here's your sports and leisure. What type of cards did Walter Cavan have 1,356 of, worth 1.6 million in the world's largest wallet? What types of cards did Walter Kavanaugh have 1,356 of? They were worth $1.6 million in the world's largest wallet.
What type of cars?
Cards.
Oh, cards. Okay. Bicycle cards? Like the
Now you probably got one in your wallet. Most people have one or two in their wallets.
Mine's American Express.
debit cards.
Credit cards, yep.
Yeah, okay.
Now my question is, who the hell needs 1,356 different credit cards?
That is weird. That is generally pretty weird.
Oh, I thought you said. I thought it was dollars. I didn't know it was like credit cards. I thought that was his credit line was like 1,300,000.
Yeah, 1.6 million was his credit line. I mean, yeah, who the hell would?
Is that like credit cards from different banks? Like how, like usually.
Well, you can't get that from one bank. They don't give you a $1.6 million line of credit from one bank. But
Usually
that's
though,
a
it's
lot
like,
of cards.
why do you need 1,000 cards?
Well, he probably had a Macy's card and a.
Well, let's figure this up real quick. If he had 1,000 cards and it was worth $1.6 million in credit, how much credit would he have available on each card?
None, because his wife went shopping.
All
right, Will.
60,000 limit or something.
Wild card now?
Here's your wild card. What collectible line of dinnerware was introduced in 1936?
Fine China?
It's kind of like a party wear.
Oh, plastic?
Think of a party.
Party.
If I was going to have a party, what would I call it?
Red Solo Cup. I know that's not what it was, but
I live in Mexico City, so what would I call it?
Oh, Fiesta.
Fiesta.
Okay. Man, those questions were
in
tough.
America,
Like, they
Red
were, like,
Solo
not in my
Cup. That's
ballpark.
not the party.
Those are tough ones. But it was fun. It was fun.
Tony, did you ever go to a Red Solo Cup party at USC? He's not even there.
USC used fine china, man. Come on.
They use yellow Solo Cups, didn't
Solo
they?
cup it. They don't solo cup it over there.
They use Dixie Cups. Don't you get off
That's
me.
right. All right, here we go. Hillbilly, are you ready?
Let's go.
Tony's got three.
I thought it was my turn. Oh, is it Hillbilly? Okay.
No, because we've been. I got it written down. Tony, Hillbilly, Jackson, and you.
Okay, that's fine.
That's how I got it written down. I threw a Will in because I knew he was going to the gym and I didn't know
That's
how
probably
much
what threw
time.
me off. I'm not real smart anyway.
All right, here you go. You might not like this card anyway. This Hillbilly. Here's your people.
Yeah, give it to Hillbilly.
What band leader gave the title Wonderful to his autobiography?
Oh, geez. What band leader?
What band leader gave the title, and I would say it wonderful, but seeing that it's German, it's wonderful to his autobiography.
I have no.
We're gonna go dancing a 1 and a 2 and a 3.
I don't. Yeah, I have no idea, guys.
Drop the bubbles, people. Let's dance.
Nope. No impact. No idea.
My grandparents would take me to my grandma's brother's house, Joe Magnani, and on Saturday nights I'd have to sit and watch this guy on TV.
Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence Welk. Have a wonderful. Yeah. That's the good news about children today. You will not know the heartaches of having to sit through a half hour or an hour. I don't remember how long it was, but it seemed like a year when you had to watch Lawrence
Not
Welk.
like the Lawrence Welk show. I love the Lawrence Welk show.
I was like 7. That was not like the highlight of my week to sit and watch the Lawrence Welk show.
Yeah, I was 37. So
You want to know what show I wish was still on, man? I wish Judge Wapner was still on, man. I used to love the People's Court.
Judge Wapner.
Oh yeah.
That was
Okay, I'm getting feedback. Is it me or?
Well, we know it's not Tony. We know it's not Will. How about now? Are we getting feedback? Nope, it was Jackson. It was Jackson.
Yeah. Jackson, turn your damn YouTube off.
All right. Here's your entertainment question. What 1963 Betty Friedan bestseller helped create the modern feminist movement?
And you got to know this.
Oh, geez, man. Well, I don't, dude. I don't.
Come on. Hillbilly, you were on my show last night, and this was the answer last night. It's the same answer.
Biggest thing.
Like Hear Me Roar or something like that.
Here, listen to the question. Half the answer is in the question. What 1963 Betty Friedan bestseller helped create the modern feminist movement?
Modern feminism. I don't know, man.
You're getting closer.
You could have
Tell
named
him
it
what
that.
it is, Joey.
I'm
The
gonna go
feminine
with
mystique.
The feminine mystique.
the feminine mystique.
Yes.
Yep. All right. Here's your history question, Hillbilly. Who did the Ohio Dairymen's Association honor with a portrait sculpted from 900 pounds of butter after the moon landing?
What moon landing?
Well,
Which
the
one?
that happened down, the one that happened in New Mexico.
New Mexico? Yeah.
Neil Armstrong, I guess.
Neil Armstrong is correct. Here's your place question. What New England city did Oliver Wendell Holmes dub the hub of the universe?
New York City.
No, this city hates New York City.
London.
Well, everybody hates New York City, so that didn't narrow it down. I'm talking in baseball.
No, I have no idea, man.
It's got to be the
Boston.
marathon. It's got to be the marathon city then.
Hey, it's the marathon. Boston.
Boston.
All right.
Boston.
Sports and leisure. Who played the tallest airline co-pilot on record in Airplane?
Oh, that was shoot.
One of the funniest movies still today.
Oh, gee, was that Kareem?
That would be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Good job. All right, here's your last one. Are you ready?
You know the one, man. My favorite one of that movie, right? Was the autopilot. when he went flat and she had
Yeah.
blood.
That's really the best part of the movie. It really is.
Then they're sitting there with the cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
You know,
You
you
just
take
see a pilot doing that, right? I mean, you can just see a pilot doing that, sitting up there like, yeah.
But you take those movies, like that Airplane, and what was the one they made fun of? Top Gun, Naked Gun,
Hot Shots.
Hot Shots, Naked Gun. All you ain't getting a show like that today. I mean, those shows back then.
They're the Weird Al Yankovic of movies.
Yeah. Now I heard something, and I freaking Googled it, and it is true, and I'm not happy about it. But do you guys know they're remaking Roadhouse?
You know that's going to be lame, man. That's going to be so lame.
It's going to be a little different. It's going to be in Florida this time, and he's a MMA fighter, and I'm like, come on, Roadhouse is a classic. Why would you even mess? That'd be like us trying to remake Animal House today. Come on.
Well, that's
we'll remake Rambo.
Oh man, Bluto from Animal House was so funny, man.
They want to destroy.
I love the
remake-
scene with the zip where he goes.
You can't remake a few movies like Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind. You can't remake Gone with the Wind, right?
No.
You can't remake Casablanca. You there's a few movies you can't remake. I mean, period.
No.
It's like Bloodsport, man. You can't remake Bloodsport.
Well, I'll tell you what, though. They can remake any movie they want, but there is technically one movie they'll never be able to remake.
Yeah, what's that?
Blazing Saddles, because it would not go over today. You are not remaking.
What did he say? I think he said the sheriff is near. No, the sheriff is a.
I will say this: in today's day and age, they could remake Brokeback Mountain, and it would be humongous. I mean,
Oh yeah, yeah. Today the show that got me one of the highest grossing shows of all time that I don't understand was the movie Titanic. Because you went to the fucking movie knowing that the boat was going to sink. So what?
My dad, hey Jeff, my dad watches that movie at least once a month. He loves Titanic. My dad.
Does he think that maybe the ship ain't going down one time or what? It's
I don't know why. I'm like, it's an okay movie, but I'm like, oh, we're gonna watch Titanic again. I'm like, really, Dad? We're gonna watch.
It's like hoping Leonardo survives just once.
But you know what? My ex-wife probably thought the same thing because I told her that. Why are we going to the Titanic? The boat fucking sinks. We know how it ends. And then a couple of months later, the movie Pearl Harbor come out, and she's like, well, the Japanese attack, right? But it's different, okay? I want to see the ships. I want to see the boat. That is different. War movies don't count. But yeah, no, I was very disheartened when I found out they're remaking Roadhouse. I'm like, come on, that's just one of those movies that if anyone hasn't seen that movie, watch it. It's a great movie.
And saying Pearl Harbor, man, we lost so many great people that day and stuff. And a big shout out to the West Virginia. A lot of people.
And they got us good because it was a Sunday morning, so people were sleeping in, and they got us just before they were awake, and we had all the notifications in the world if you go back and look, but people thought, well, no, those planes, they're coming back in. That was, they were out doing maneuvers and stuff, and it wasn't, and
And
so
honestly,
there were
this country has only repeated that one time, and that was when we got Osama bin Laden. Middle of the night, nobody expecting that. Nothing was breathed of that attack. There was no warning whatsoever. Just like Pearl Harbor. So we got our part, our day in the sun then by just actually being able to keep a damn secret and doing something.
But I think one of the greatest things, though, Joey, that come out of Pearl Harbor was their admiral. After it was over, he said, I think all we did was awaken a sleeping
Like a
giant.
sleeping giant, right? Yeah.
You know,
And
he knew after it was over, he like, oh fuck, I think we fucked up.
Yeah.
Because they wasn't in the war, and they said, you know, maybe we would have joined, maybe, you know, I mean, because we were kind of adamant we weren't going in the war. You know, we didn't want to be a part. But the minute Japan attacked us, I think he really realized that, oh shit, I think we just awoke a giant. And
Yeah, because he knew that our infrastructure would allow us to build the planes and build the ships. You know, we had the infrastructure for all that. We were
Yeah.
ready to go, pretty much. You know, I mean, we could produce everything we needed for war in a quick basis, and we did. And it didn't matter if we lost a ship or we lost a plane, because we replaced it the next day.
You know,
So
that's
different.
people don't understand. You know, like we funded the entire war, even Russia. We gave them airplanes and trucks.
Yeah.
You know, they kind of made their own tanks a little bit, but they were only to make so many tanks because we were building everything else for them, man. The P-39 Aerocobra, right, was one of their favorite airplanes. You know, it was one of the best made, and I mean, and then, you know, the Lend-Lease and all the money and the equipment that we gave to Europe, you know, you got to think we bailed out Italy and France, set them free.
But here's a question, Hillbilly, and I would like anybody's opinion on this, you know, but we know what happened in World War II. We know what America did. Would that happen today? If we were attacked and we knew we were going into a war, would a lot of the companies that we have today give up making? I mean, because, you know, the auto dealers, you know, they quit making cars. They started making tanks. And, you know, a lot of the companies gave up what they were doing to go mass production for the war. And they got money in that. But a lot of our companies today are not American owned and stuff like, you know.
Yeah, but look, they did the same. Look what they did during the pandemic.
Yeah,
They
no,
do
that's
it. They
true.
do the same thing.
Yeah.
We have 9 minutes, guy. We have 9 minutes.
Oh, all
Just
right,
letting you
here
know,
we go.
got 9 minutes.
All right, here's your last one, Hillbilly. What city does the arrow point to on cartons of Haagen-Dazs ice cream?
I have no
What
idea.
city does the arrow point to on cartons of Haagen-Dazs ice cream?
I don't know, Sweden, somewhere in Stockholm or something.
Yeah, you're close.
Yeah, I don't know. But
Does anybody know?
Don't have a clue.
You used to be able to see this in my smile, but I quit 5 years ago.
Skull.
A little Copenhagen. A little Copenhagen.
Yeah. Who had a big hit country song called Copenhagen?
Jeff Foxworthy.
No, it was Chris Ledoux, the old, you know, you remember the cowboy Chris Ledoux? He was an actual cowboy singer. Copenhagen, I put a dip of it in my lip.
Yep. Jeff Foxworthy has a good song too. You got to check it out.
Okay.
All right, we got 2 more players. Let's get through real quick. Jackson, are you ready?
All set.
Who ended 6 years in jail, changed his name, and joined Black Muslim leader Elijah Muhammad in 1952?
I don't know. You got me.
Think of a famous black leader. One of the most famous black leaders you know besides Dr. King.
Malcolm X.
There you go, Malcolm X. Oh, my God. Who started and ended the Who's on First routine? Was it Bud Abbott or Lou Costello?
Say that one more time.
It's too bad we only got 9 minutes because I could go off on this for 10 minutes.
Who?
Yeah, I
Who
know it.
started and ended Who's on First routine? Was it Bud Abbott or Lou Costello?
Who? I'm going to say Abbott.
Abbott started it. Yep.
Yeah, because I
And anybody out there who does not know that routine, watch it.
Who?
Yeah.
I actually got a picture on my Facebook of the South Korean player on first base, and his name is WH, and it said after 70 years, who finally made it to first.
Yeah. What baseman is what?
Who's
Anybody
on
know?
first? What's on second? I don't know. Who's on third?
I don't know who's on third. Right. And let's see.
I
Who's
don't
on
give a
first?
damn. Oh no, he's our pitcher.
Yeah.
Today's pitching, tomorrow's catching. I don't give a damn. He's our center fielder. All right. Who announced the history question? Who announced on October 20th, 1944, people of the Philippines, I have returned?
Ooh. Philippines, 1944.
Who announced on October 20th, 1944, people of the Philippines, I have returned? Who left the Philippines and came back? Who left the Philippines and said, I shall return? And then on October 20th, 1940, he announced, I have returned.
He's too young for this one.
And
Yeah.
They should have let him kick China.
Everybody should know this one.
Yeah,
They
but he's
China's butt in the Korean War too. They should have just let him keep walking right on up through China, man. We wouldn't have half the problems.
Jackson MacArthur.
The answer was General MacArthur.
General Douglas MacArthur with the big corncob pipe, you know.
Yep, and the button nose and two eyes. Oh wait, no, that's Frosty. Hold on.
Close
Okay.
enough.
Here's your place question. What part of San Francisco's public transit system hits top speed at 9.5 miles an hour?
Oh, that's Croatia. That's Croatia.
Yeah, I love Croatia.
That was the cable car.
We got to elect the president of Croatia one day.
All right, here's your sports and leisure.
Okay.
What winery claimed we will sell no wine before it's time?
Is it even? Are they even around now? I don't even know if
Dino?
I don't think.
Oh yeah, man. You
I
gotta
don't
know.
believe they are.
I don't think they're around.
Because I think he died back in the 80s, didn't he? The owner.
Yeah.
I think he died.
I
back in
thought
the 80s.
so. I thought he died, and then a couple years later they closed it. They
Once
sold it.
again, way before Jackson's time.
Yeah, it was Paul Mason. Okay, here's your last question. What magazine offered prizes in the 1800s for articles on most effective bug extinguisher and best bed bug finisher?
Wall Street magazine.
No. Does anybody know?
Say that again.
It was
Was it Exterminator?
What magazine offered prizes in the 1800s for articles on the most effective bug extinguisher and best bed bug finisher?
Popular Science or something like that, maybe.
It was Good Housekeeping.
Oh, okay.
All right, Jackson, you got two. Here we go. Joey, this is the last card.
All right.
What's the name of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s widow?
Oh, that's Coretta Scott King.
That is correct. Entertainment. What did future rock and roller Richard Penniman say when he quit his job as a dishwasher?
Well, I'm sure he didn't say, take this job and shove it.
No, that wasn't him. That was the other guy. Do you remember Richard Penniman?
Isn't that Little Richard, isn't it? That's Little Richard, isn't it? Isn't that Little
Yep.
Richard? Yeah.
Yep. Do you know what he said?
No, I don't know what he said when he told him to shove his job. I
You're
don't
going
know.
to hate yourself. What he told them was a wop bop a loo bop a wop bam boom. I knew when I said it, you'd know it. All right, here's your history question. How many of every 10 American homes had 2 or more TV sets in 1993?
God, I hate questions like this. I don't know.
Yeah.
In 1993, 93 or 83?
93.
That would be a lot then in 93. I'm going to say in 1993. Why not 93? We'll just say 93. I have no idea.
Just give a
93.
guess between 1 and 10.
9.
It was 6.
No.
All right. Remember, this was 1993. What's the only motorcycle still made in the U.S.?
In 93. Probably Harley Davidson.
Harley Davidson. The reason I said 93 was important because Indian is now back. They do make Indian motorcycles again.
Yeah,
So
Polaris,
that's
right.
why I wanted to make sure in 93 Indian wasn't being made. So, all right, here's a good question. Who was Cassius Clay about to fight when he claimed, "I am the greatest"?
Sonny Liston.
Yeah,
The whole thing was, "I am the greatest the world has ever seen."
Yeah, I was going to say Sonny Liston, and Jackson jumped in like it's his question. Shut up, Jackson. It's Sonny Liston.
Here we go with wild card. What mile-high city has battled its brown cloud of pollution for over 100 years?
Mile High
Only one-
City.
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's got to be Denver. That's got to
That's
be
got
Denver.
to be Denver.
Right.
You got 4 out of 6. Wop up a loobop got you, and
Up and boom. Doody
and
booty.
6 out of
Hey, see you guys over at Smoking Gun.
All right, everybody, if you're not already subscribed, go to Smoking Gun Cafe. He's going to be doing a conspiracy show here any minute. It's a really good show. I don't know what it's going to be about tonight, but they just talk about all different kinds of conspiracies, all different kinds of topics. So,
And there's traveling pools. I mean, where can you go wrong? I mean, it's
yeah,
traveling pools.
exactly. So I'm going to end this right now.